Okay, so this investment problem is a little bit different. Here's the formula, and this looks way scarier than the other one, but it's fairly simple. Now we're looking for the account balance. The principal is still the amount you're investing. This is just the number one. Here's our rate. Now it says compounded semi-annually, so see this letter N right here. N is how many times it's compounding. So I have a list. If it's annually, that means N is 1, semi-annually 2, quarterly 4, monthly 12, weekly. My guess is most of the time it's going to be one of these 4. And then notice the outer parentheses, it's raised to the number of times the number of years. And then they'll always tell you the time, and almost always, it's for these problems, it's going to be in years. And when you're teaching this, don't let the students be freaked out. What it means is it's just going to be 1 point something that goes inside the parentheses to the N times T. That's all that means. One of the things that you could do, instead of it being phrased like this, the total value, you could rephrase that as account balance, because that's the formula is set up that way. But so we'd go ahead and set it up. So account balance is when you invest $12,000. So 10%. So convert it to a decimal. Now, because they're going to be using calculators, make sure that they put the parentheses around that. Semi-annually, the N value, this N value means 2. Close that parentheses, and then the N value is 2 again. Oops, not an N, but a 2. And the T value is 1. And I recommend order of ops. Let's get this simplified first. Okay, you might have some students say, hey, we could just plug this all the way into the calculator exactly like that, and they would be correct. They could. But for assessment purposes, in case kids get it wrong or they type it in the calculator wrong, I highly recommend simplifying this first. And probably should have them simplify the fraction first. But I think even if you did that, that would be fine. And then going ahead and using the calculator, just have students type that in. And so the account balance. Now, for challenge problems, there's a couple things you could do. You could say, well, what if you knew the account balance, but we didn't know the principal? What if that was the case? All right, well, then they'd fill everything else in, and then notice whatever this simplified to, they would just have students divide that on both sides. The one other thing that I would add, if this is your 7th grade class, is what you could do is on the simple interest ones, make that part of the assessment, and then this may be a quiz question, something that they could redo, or maybe an exit ticket question rather than an exam question where there's so many parts, especially for the population that we have. But for some of those kids that are a little bit more advanced or confident in their math, then this is a perfect one for them. All right, that's it for this one.